Yeah.
Okay.
Time has started.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to provide to you today some advice on how to choose a university. I know it sounds like a boring topic, and my parents make it more so, but I found something that I feel must be shared. Because, to be honest, counsellors only tell you information that they think is right, and when it comes down to it, they can't entirely sympathise with the teenage mind. These counsellors might throw statistics such as average dropout rates, university reputation, average end grades and student satisfaction. What I'll be talking about to you today is quite closely linked with student satisfaction. But I'd rather call it teenager satisfaction. For example, did you know that students studying Spanish at university tend to be easier, if you know what I mean, than French majors? Because what I found recently might be what can be referred to as the holy grail of university research.
Where did you perform this?
I found it. I'm of course referring to a statistic that shows virginity rates by university major. That way we students can make a decision on what university major to take based on what really matters. The statistic is taken from an American university called Wellesley College, where students were asked on entry whether or not they were a virgin. The statistics were then organised by university major. To be honest, the statistics weren't too much of a surprise. You could probably guess which university major had the highest number of virgins on entry. Dramatically, it was a tie. The math students managed to secure highest virginity rate, but not wanting to be outdone, or perhaps not done at all, the biochem/chem students managed to secure a tie with the math students. Of course, the most active slot could only go to one subject. Not only did it go to one subject, but it managed to win by a mile. Ladies and gentlemen, from now on I'm applying for a position in studio art. Ladies and gentlemen, statistics don't lie. And not only does studio art have a low percentage of virgins on entry, it actually has a 0%. Which means that for me to make it to university with my virginity intact would in fact be significantly harder than not losing my virginity. I mean, I thought I liked history. I thought I liked it a lot. As a 16-year-old boy, I would enjoy sex a lot more. The movement of people and cultural trends, the way in which entire societies evolve, revolutions in ways of thinking like the Enlightenment and the Renaissance, these really, really fascinate me. But unfortunately, not enough. And sadly, history boys just can't get the job done as well as neuroscience kids, who clearly just understand the female mind better than us history kids. The statistics also taught me various other things that our counsellors and our society have been lying to us about. People think that people who know their way around a computer can't get laid. This is plainly wrong. Computer science students are some of the smoothest guys, outdoing various other subject students such as history, French and economics. The other myth perpetuated by our parents and our school teachers is that it's okay not to know what you want to study at university. Maybe then you think you could declare your major later on. False. Undeclared majors have a harder time, or should I say, a softer time, trying to get laid in university. On a slightly more serious note, in the modern day employers want to know everything. They follow your Facebook and will use any technique possible to take stock of your character. It's no surprise that parents are forcing their children into intense amounts of extracurricular activities from age 10. To be honest, if universities are looking at what extracurricular activities we were doing in 6th grade, then is it really so silly to suggest that they might be interested in our other activities? Really, the idea of extracurricular activities is at the heart of the IB in the form of CAS. Because in our age of increasing permissiveness, surely sex should be included in our applications to universities. Of course, it would be easy to introduce it into the high school level education. There is already a gateway for this to come through. Yes. Isn't sex a form of action? Come to think of it, isn't it a service to the community? And as long as money doesn't change hands, you're volunteering. And of course, creativity is at the heart of the naughty. Yet now, one must ask how one would introduce this into the numerous job applications one will need. No employer wants a non-virile or lazy man. So perhaps in the far future we can count on certain new aspects of the process. Maybe a series of references will be required. Maybe a series of grades graphed over time. The positive impacts will be significant. Suddenly a more holistic application process for those who had other worries in school. Another advantage could well be that pushy parents start pushing forward an agenda directly in your interest. Not to mention an inversion of the social hierarchy.
He's gonna play with
Whoa.
Anyways.
Inversion of the social hierarchy as the nerds quickly become the biggest studs to enhance their grades. To conclude, sex is a bit of a taboo subject, and I think this speech is a wake-up call. For too long, some majors have lagged behind other classes. Now it's time to sex up high school courses. Study the Kama Sutra in English class. Make Dutch class become as liberal as the people. Learn about business management for all trades, the older the better. Study the evolution of sex over time. Introduce practicals as parts of the biology course. But finally just remember that sex shouldn't be taboo, and it's silly how involved universities or employers can be sometimes.
Did you actually perform this?
Yeah.
That's just like...
The first one was really awkward